Hello there, and welcome back, y'all, to The Deep Dive.
Great to be back.
We're just two folks, who reckon that life's deepest truths, they ain't always found in big city books or fancy lecture halls.
Mm-hmm.
No, sometimes the truest wisdom flows right here in the rhythm of our own hills and hollers, right here in beautiful Overton County.
Yeah, we're kind of on this shared journey, you and us, looking for that wisdom that feels as natural, as easy as the Obey River flowing through the land. We're followers of the Tao, seeking that natural flow.
That's right. And today, well, we're setting the table for a really fascinating deep dive.
Yeah, into what?
Into the mind of Alan Watts, we're unpacking his insights from a talk called The Religion of No Religion.
Ah, Watts. Yeah, that sounds good. What are we working from?
We've got the transcripts from that talk. It was on Mark Watts' Being in the Way podcast, and some helpful study notes, too.
Okay, solid sources.
Now, our mission here, it ain't to get bogged down in big, fancy words.
Nope.
Definitely not. We want to kind of extract the sweet, clear sap of wisdom, the stuff that makes sense right here in our everyday lives, wherever you happen to be listening.
It's like finding that shortcut, maybe, to being truly well-informed.
Exactly. With maybe some surprising facts and just enough good humor to keep you hooked.
Right. The goal is kind of seeing how spirituality can be as natural, as unassuming, as maybe a squirrel burying a nut for winter down by the creek.
Yeah, without a lick of fuss or pretense, just being.
And what's really interesting, maybe a little surprising, is Watts hinting that the highest kind of Buddha, well, they might just be someone you pass on the street in Livingston.
Really? Just an ordinary person?
Yeah. He talks about how true spiritual attainment leaves no tracks, like a bird flying across the Cumberland sky, it just vanishes.
Wow, okay. So we got to rethink what religious even means then.
Precisely. It might be simpler and maybe deeper than we usually think.
Okay, let's dive into that. This foundational idea Watts lays out. The ultimate Buddha isn't some saint on a pedestal.
Right. Not gilded and grand. Instead, he calls it a non-Buddha, an ordinary person.
That feels different, especially compared to older traditions, right? The ones pushing you to either escape the world or just kind of accept it without question.
Exactly. Watts is saying, no, the truly enlightened person is right here among us, living, an ordinary life.
So how does Zen itself show this kind of down-home spirituality?
Well, Zen's a perfect example, like Watts explains. Take Zen painting.
Okay.
It's not like typical church art. Watts mentions artists like Sengai back in 17th century.
Yeah.
He'd paint Buddha with his halo over one ear. Sort of humorous, bit rakish even, very informal.
Not what you'd expect.
And most Zen painting is not even of holy figures. It's everyday stuff. Pine branches, rocks, bamboos, grasses.
Just nature, things you'd see walking around Standing Stone State Park.
Exactly. It has a special quality, sure, a deep simplicity, but it ain't trying to be overtly holy. It's just life.
And it's not just the art, is it? You mentioned Bosch earlier, that famous poem.
Ah, the haiku, yeah. The old pond, a frog jumps in, plop.
Watts says that's like high-style Zen poetry because it has nothing in it about religion.
Right. It's just a simple observation, a moment, a sound you might hear down by the creek outside Cookeville, maybe.
And that's the truth of it, right? It ain't preaching, it just is.
So why? Why does Zen and Watts kind of shy away from the big religious pronouncements?
Good question.
Watt points out that any religion, over time, it risks becoming just cliches, just going through the motions.
Like rote learning.
Yeah. And he's strong on this. He calls The Imitation of Christ a terrible book.
Wow, strong words, why?
His reason. Anyone who tries to imitate Christ just becomes a fake Jesus. He sees imitation Buddhists sitting in monasteries too. All fakes, he says.
Ouch. So true wisdom isn't play acting.
It's about being authentic, not trying to be something you're not.
Okay, so if it's not about play acting or showing off, what is it about? This is where that leaving no tracks idea comes in.
Exactly. The unmarked path. It's a central image for Watts.
Yeah.
The enlightened person leaves no tracks, like a bird in the sky.
Like it was never there.
Right. There's an old Chinese poem he mentions. Entering the forest, he does not disturb a blade of grass. Entering the water, he does not make a ripple.
Wow. That's subtle. It's about being truly natural then, not self-consciously religious.
Precisely. And definitely not trying to show off how spiritual you are to the folks down the road.
Yeah, you see that sometimes.
And Watts makes this really subtle point. He uses Protestant simplicity as an example.
How so?
Well, that simplicity is started in places like Geneva, merchant cities. Merchants didn't like all the Catholic nuisance holy days and, frankly, the expensive rituals. Bad for business, friend.
Practical reasons.
Yeah. They wanted plain and simple.
Hmm.
But Watts notes, even that simplicity eventually became just another sign.
A sign of what?
A sign of showing how spiritual you were, how right your beliefs were. It still wasn't the real religion of no sign.
Which is just not appearing to be something.
You got it. Just being.
Okay, and here's maybe the real kicker Watts throws at us. He says the theist and the atheist, they're equally caught.
Yeah, that's a provocative one, isn't it?
How does he figure that?
The theist is caught by their rigid belief system, okay? But the atheist, they're caught by their strong disbelief. Often, he says, they're reacting against this idea of a constant, all-seeing eye.
That feeling of being watched and judged.
Right. And Watts makes this really striking claim. Nobody believes in God like an atheist,
Whoa.
who might declare, there is no God and I am his prophet. You know, that kind of intense energy against something.
So the true bodhisattva state, and remind us, a bodhisattva is enlightened but stays to help others, living normally.
Right, in this Mahayana Zen view, not retreating but staying in the world. That state, Watts says, it's hard to pin down.
Because
It's neither supremely religious nor blatantly secular. It just is. It transcends those labels we like to put on things.
Okay. So going deeper into this idea of the ordinary, Watts talks about the 10 oxherding pictures.
Ah, yes, a classic Zen teaching tool. He explains the orthodox set goes past just emptiness.
Emptiness being the empty circle in some versions.
Right. That moment of realizing emptiness, that voidness, it isn't the final stop on the journey.
That's crucial. So what comes after emptiness?
The journey continues. The final stages are depicted as returning to the origin, often shown as just a simple tree by a stream, something you might see any day around Salina, you know.
Very simple, grounded.
And then, the last picture, entering the city with hands hanging down, often showing putai or hotai in Japan.
The fat Buddha.
Yeah, the laughing one, carrying a bag of wonderful trash for children.
So what's Watts saying that means?
It means coming back to ordinary life, bringing that deep wisdom you found, but without making a big fuss about it. Just sharing what you have, humbly, with everyone, like handing out candy from a sack.
He uses some good analogies for this, doesn't he? Like scaffolding.
Yeah, exactly. You need the scaffolding to build the house, right?
Right.
But once the house is built...
You take it down, you don't leave it up.
Right. Or a brick to knock on a door. Once the door's open, you don't carry the brick inside.
What a boat to cross a river.
You don't carry the boat on your back once you're on the other side. These things, the rituals, the methods, the doctrines, Watts calls them religious technology.
Tools.
Useful tools. But once you've reached the goal, the understanding, you leave the tools behind.
Which leads to that quote, "A saint will not be found in church, stinking of religion."
That's the one. If they go to church, they go freely, like anyone else, not wearing their piety like a heavy coat.
And Zen really takes this down-to-earth thing seriously, almost comically sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Watts tells that story about the old Zen master.
Which one?
Telling his disciple he had a trivial fault.
Which was?
Too much Zen.
Too much Zen. Huh.
Yeah. The master preferred just ordinary conversation. Said talking about Zen all the time could turn one's stomach.
So live it, don't just yap about it.
Pretty much. It's about the experience, not the constant analysis or show.
So how does this practical, no-fuss approach play out when faced with, the big questions, deep philosophy?
Well, Watts gives great examples. Master Joshu, someone asks him about the eternal nature of the self after everything's gone kaput.
Yeah, a deep one. What did Joshu say?
He just looked around and said, "It's windy again this morning?"
Huh. Just that.
Just that. Or another story, a simple secular request, pass me the knife, becomes a whole metaphysical problem just by the way it's handled.
So it's about not separating the sacred from the everyday.
Exactly. The profound isn't somewhere else hidden away. It's right here, every single moment. Even, down on the square in Livingston during the Strawberry Festival. It's all it.
Okay, this is deep stuff. To really get it, we got to look at the roots, you said. Huayan philosophy.
Yeah, Huayan, or Kigen in Japan. Watts calls it Zen's intellectual foundation. It comes from the Avansaka Sutra, and it describes 4 Dharma worlds.
Not separate places, though.
No. More like different ways of seeing reality building on each other. Ways of understanding.
Okay, what's the first one?
The first is Shi, or Ji in Watts' shorthand sometimes. The world of things, events, particulars.
Our everyday world. Common sense.
Right, the world of multiplicity. Think of all the specific individual trees in Standing Stone State Park, each one different. Or every single person at the festival, distinct individuals.
Got it.
Now, a Zen master, fully in this world, they're called Buji.
Buji means what?
No business, no affectation, nothing special. They look totally ordinary. But Watts is clear. They ain't ordinary inside. They're fully aware, fully engaged, just without making a big deal.
Okay, world number one, particulars. What's number two?
Number two is Li, or Ri,
Yeah.
the world of principle, the underlying unity.
The oneness behind everything.
Yeah, the pattern. Like the grain in wood, Watts says, or the markings in jade. It's where all those particulars kind of dissolve into one big picture. The universal law connecting it all.
Seeing that unity feels powerful. But, like Watts says, how do you live a practical life then?
Right. If everything is just one, how do you know a hammer from a screwdriver? You still got to function in the world of particulars.
That tension, it leads to the third world.
Exactly. Raiji Mug. This is where it gets really interesting. The unobstructed interpenetration of principle and particulars.
Unobstructed interpenetration. Okay, unpack that.
It means unity, Rai, and multiplicity, G, are not incompatible. They don't block each other. They flow together seamlessly.
Wow.
Watts uses the example of a red circle. The shape, the circle, that's the particular G. The color, redness, that's the principle.
Okay.
They're different concepts, shape and color, but they go beautifully together, right?
Nope.
You can't have that specific red circle without both. Neither exists without the other in that instance.
Ah, okay. They depend on each other, work together. So what does this mean for us, like, as people?
It means a superior human being, in this view, is both spiritual and material, both otherworldly and worldly, all at once.
Not one or the other.
Right. Watts critiques folks who are dry spiritual. He calls it pure alcohol, no body. And also boring materialist, soft drink, no alcohol.
Ah, good analogies.
He prefers the marvelous wine analogy. Sensuality is the body, spirituality is the alcohol. They grow together, enhancing each other.
That raises a big question, doesn't it? Especially for us in the West. Why do we get so flustered if, say, a marvelous clergyman also has a sensuous side?
Yeah, we try to separate things, put them in neat boxes. Spirituality here, worldliness there. Watts is saying, no, it ain't meant to be separate. It's all one flow.
Which brings us to the fourth world.
Yeah.
The highest one.
Yeah, GG Mug. All things interpenetrate. Or maybe better, all particulars interpenetrate. All particulars.
Okay, Gigi Mug, what does that mean?
It means between one event and any other event or events, there is no mutual exclusiveness. Everything implies everything else. Nothing is truly separate or isolated in the whole cosmos.
Wow. That's hard to wrap your head around. Is there a symbol for that?
The classic symbol Watts uses is Indra's net.
Indra's net. Tell us about that.
Imagine a vast, multi-dimensional spider's web covered in dew. And at every single knot or intersection, there's a jewel.
Okay.
And every drop of dew, or every jewel, contains in it the reflection of every other drop of dew. And so at infinitum.
So everything reflects everything else. Endlessly.
Endlessly. You look at one tiny part, and you're seeing reflections of the entire infinite net. The whole universe in every single thing.
That is mind-bending. So what's the implication of that?
Here's the really powerful part Watts draws out. The whole universe depends on you.
On me. How?
Your very existence. Just you being here, like Socrates existing, or just, John Doe or Mary Smith from down the road here in Overton County. Even every fruit fly.
Yeah.
Your existence tells us something fundamental about the kind of universe this is. A universe that could produce you. The whole world, he says, bears your signature.
Whoa. My signature.
Your unique pattern is part of the whole pattern. This means there's no single boss running the show.
No top-down hierarchy.
Nope. Watts calls it a colossal democracy,
Yeah.
where everybody is boss and nobody is boss. It's all interdependent.
So even a supreme personal god, like Ishvara in Hinduism.
Watts says Ishvara is lower than a Buddha, because gods, in that view, are still within the round of being, subject to cosmic cycles. They aren't the ultimate reality itself.
No need for a kingpin when the whole system runs itself through this interpenetration.
You got it. It all just works together.
So, okay, bringing this back to Zen's practical, non-intellectual way, this means seeing the most ordinary event implies the whole universe.
Yes, but it's even deeper than the third level. It's not just seeing infinity in a grain of sand. Watts says that's still Raiji, seeing the universal in the particular.
Okay, so Gigi Mug is?
GG Mug is realizing the grain of sand is eternity.
I is eternity, not just reflects it or contains it.
Exactly. There's no separation. The particular is the universal, and the universal is the particular. They are completely mutually themselves.
Which leads to that Zen saying, no legs on a snake.
Right. Don't add anything unnecessary. Don't try to improve on reality with extra commentary or concepts.
Don't gild the lily.
Precisely. Adding legs to a snake is just absurd, unnatural. Watts suggests that eventually, even specifically religious activity can become like legs on a snake.
It becomes unnecessary.
It should ideally disappear, yeah. Like scaffolding comes down, or like in an ideal anarchist society, government would wither away because people just act in harmony spontaneously.
And he quotes Revelation. That feels like a surprising connection.
It is, but it fits perfectly.
Yeah.
In heaven, there is no temple.
Because the whole place is the temple.
Exactly. So the ultimate fulfillment of Buddhism, one says, means no Buddha, no temple, no gong, no bell. Why?
Because the whole world is the sound of the bell.
Yes. And the image of Buddha is simply everything you can look at.
It's all sacred. It's all it.
Which makes that Zen master's reply so perfect. When asked if the mountains are the body of the Buddha.
He says, yes, they are.
But it's a pity to say so.
Because saying it puts a concept between you and the direct experience.
You got it. The direct, unmediated experience of reality as it is, right here, right now, that's everything.
Yeah.
No need for labels.
Wow. Okay. So let's bring this all home. What does this mean for us folks right here in Overton County?
Well, I reckon it means that highest truth, that deep wisdom, it ain't hidden away in some far-off monastery or tangled up in complicated books.
Where is it then?
It's right here. In the creek running through your backyard, in the sound of kids laughing on the square in Livingston, and the quiet strength you see in folks tending their land.
It's seeing the sacred and the sensuous, right? The cosmic and the common.
Absolutely. And understanding that every single one of us, from the oldest person we know to the tiniest little gnat buzzing around,
Yeah.
we're all vital threads in that Indra's net.
This world, our world, bears my signature, bears your signature.
That's the heart of it. It really is.
So here's a call to action for you listening. Next time you're out walking a trail, maybe over at Cummins Falls State Park, or maybe just sitting on your porch looking out over these beautiful hills. Don't just see trees and sky and hills. Try to see the whole universe reflected in every leaf, every cloud, every beat of your own heart.
Realize that just by being here, just by being you, you're expressing the entirety of existence.
Go on now and don't just walk through life.
Be the walk.
That's beautiful. Now, we reckon these deep dives, they're worth more than a pot of gold to us.
They sure feel like it.
But if you enjoyed unpacking this Alan Watts wisdom with us today, we'd surely appreciate it if you'd hit that like button, maybe leave a comment, and subscribe to The Deep Dive wherever you get your podcasts or your wisdom from.
Yeah, share your thoughts. Tell us what stood out to you.
Yeah.
We love hearing from folks right here in Overton County and shoot anywhere else y'all are listening from.
Absolutely.
And now, just a moment. For all sentient beings, near and far, from the smallest ant crawling on the ground to the widest sky above, may peace and understanding flow freely for all.
Amen to that. And a big heartfelt shout out to all the students of Alan Watts out there. Keep on digging for those deeper truths. Keep exploring.
Keep being in the way.
Y'all come back now, you hear it?